Alright, hello everyone. Welcome to my first video. Um, Today I'm gonna be going over the predictions, my most likely predictions for the 2022 Senate race. We all know it's gonna be a red wave year, where Biden's approval is quite low. He's struggling a lot, and along with high gas prices, inflation, and all that stuff, and also Democrats currently have a unified government, which means the other party, the Republican Party, is naturally going to have a better year because it's kind of like a refractory period. So we can start with the safe races, safe races. We're gonna start with the Democrats. California, New York, Schumer, Connecticut, Maryland. If Hogan ran, it might have been likely, but he's not gonna run, so it's gonna be safe. Vermont, the home of Bernie Sanders, safety. Their governor race is safe R, but everything else is safety. Oregon, you got Ron Wyden, he's gonna run for re-election. Illinois, Hawaii, and I believe those are the safe Dems. And then the safe R's are Idaho, Utah, the Midwest. I remember once upon a time, South Dakota and North Dakota were competitive at the Senate level, but not anymore. Uh, and then you got Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, South Carolina, Kentucky, Indiana, Missouri, Iowa, Alaska, and I would say Florida would probably be safe just because the state has shifted so far to the right, or it's shifted right. Um, so we all know. And I mean, Marco Rubio is a very strong incumbent. He won. He outperformed Trump in 2016 by a lot. So I would say that's safe R. And I believe that would be the safe R's. Uh, and then now for the likely ones would be Washington. This one's unexpectedly closer. Um, just because I don't know. I think the Republicans were leading on the generic ballot. Uh, I mean, no. The generic ballot in Washington was really close, but this race was kind of close in 2010, but I don't think the Republicans are gonna flip it. They haven't won a Senate race in Washington since I think 1994. So yeah. Um, and then you got uh, I believe that's the only likely Democrat in my opinion. Likely ours would be Ohio, obviously, because Donald Trump won the state by much more than the previous Republicans, and Obama, he won it by way more than the other presidential candidates. And then we got Wisconsin, Ron Johnson. He's the incumbent. He outperformed Trump in 2016. He's raising a lot of money, and I think he's pretty entrenched in his seat. And the only opponent he's got is Mandela Barnes, who, in my opinion, he is pretty left wing, and he isn't going to get a lot of momentum, especially in a red wave year. He's basically a leftist, um, very liberal, and it's not going to be good in a red wave year, in a red storm. So yeah, um, and then you got honestly, in my opinion, I believe yeah, North Carolina is going to go. Wait, no, not North Carolina. I believe Georgia. I think Georgia will probably go safe. I mean, not safe. Likely are. Here's the reason. Warnock. Most people say, and this is the most likely reason he won in 2021 was because the Republican morale. was really low. Republicans obviously they were still engaged in a fight to overturn the election, and they didn't want Trump supporters didn't turn out. They didn't turn out. Uh, while Democrats, well, obviously, they had very high morale. The momentum was on their side, and in the end, it was still extremely close. It barely won Warnock. So in 2022, when you're gonna have record Republican turnout, and Democrat morale is quite low. I don't think, obviously, it's almost certainly gonna flip, but I think it's going to flip a lot because Georgia still has way more registered Republicans than Democrats, and it just still has that Republican taint to it, um, which is why I think that's going to be a likely Republican. Obviously, could be very wrong, but yeah. And then you got, I believe those are the likely races. And then for the lean races, for Democrat lean races, you have Colorado, who some Republicans think they could try to flip it. I don't think it's gonna flip, even though it's the red wave, because Michael Bennet, the incumbent, he was able to win in a Tea Party wave 2010, and in 2016 he also got reelected by I think a lean margin. I don't think he's gonna be losing reelection, so I think that's gonna be a lean. And Colorado has kind of shifted left. Um, and the Republicans don't really have a strong candidate, so I think that's going to be a lean. And then for the lean Republicans, we have North Carolina, uh, who we have Ted Budd, who's Trump endorsed. He's running. It's probably going to go slightly redder than it did in 2020. 2020, a lot of people thought that the Senate race would flip. It didn't flip. A lot of people thought it would go blue at the presidential level. It didn't go blue at the presidential level. Um, and just the state just has that red lean to it. So I believe it's gonna stay like that. And then um, forgot what. Oh yeah, I might say I might say uh yeah I might say Arizona is gonna go lean. Um, because because I mean uh, Mark Kelly, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna be able to overcome a red wave. He's voted with Biden's position most of the time. He hasn't really distanced himself from Schumer, Pelosi, and obviously he's gonna get a lot of backlash, and he's just kind of a typical liberal. I don't think he's gonna be able to somehow overcome a red storm or a red tide or a red wave, however you say it. So I think that's going to be lean. And then you have Blake Masters, who obviously he's running on as like kind of a conservative populist. And in a red wave year, I think he's going to have a lot of momentum. So, yeah. Now for the tilts. The tilts we have for the Democrats, we're going to have so this one's kind of a 50-50. I'm gonna put this as tilt D for now, New Hampshire. It could obviously go to become like likely R. I'm not likely R, lean R or tilt R. But as of right now, Hassan, if it were held, if the election were held right now, I think she would have a slight edge because of her incumbency. New Hampshire's kind of like blue tilt. Um, and their opponent hasn't really been raising a lot of money, although that could obviously change. So now for the tilt R's, I believe Nevada. Nevada's going to be a tilt R. Um, Nevada's going to be a tilt R. And Pennsylvania is going to be a tilt. Okay, so let me explain. Nevada, obviously, it's a very purple state. It has two Democrat senators right now, but it's probably going to have a Republican senator after 2022 because You got Cortez Masto, the incumbent. She didn't win by much in 2016, and in 2022, I think the red wave's gonna sweep her out of office. Uh, and then you have Adam Laxalt running as the Republican. He's the former Attorney General, um, and he's kind of running on a lot of like conservative policies, running to like obviously oppose the Biden administration's agenda, push back against the Democrats' policies. That's what he's running on, and we all know Biden's pretty unpopular in most of the swing states. So I think he's gonna be able to pull it off with a tilt margin. And Pennsylvania, this is I'm putting this as tilt R. I would like to put it as lean R, or yeah, lean R. Um, but because of the Republican primary issues, I'm gonna leave it as tilt R. A lot of we all know the Democrat primary winner is gonna be John Fetterman, the lieutenant governor. And I heard some people say like, oh, he's gonna like somehow win, but I don't think he's that. I think that's really dumb because he is a progressive. He's a Bernie bro. He supports Bernie Sanders, and he's extremely some people would say far left on a lot of issues, and that obviously is not going to go well with voters in a especially in a red wave year. Like you saw Arizona 2018, they elected Kirsten Sinema by like a razor thin margin, but in the governor's race they ran a progressive, David Garcia, and Doug Ducey whipped him by like 14 points. In Pennsylvania, if Democrats try to nominate a progressive, extremely far left progressive like Fetterman, it's not going to go well. He's not going to get the moderate Democrats. The moderate Democrats, like the traditional moderate wing of the Democrat Party, is not going to turn out. The independents definitely won't vote for him because he's way too out of the ordinary for them, especially in a favorable year for the Republicans. And also, the red wave, Dr. Oz, he's not the best Republican candidate, obviously. He he was pro Clinton and pro Fauci at one point. He says he's changed. I don't know, but he's not the best. But I believe the red wave would be enough to carry him over. All he has to do is just attack Fetterman as a far left lunatic and say basically tie him to Biden, and also just oppose Biden's policies, and yeah, that would be enough to pull him through. That could obviously become lean when it comes to the general when they start like campaigning. And also, this race is very expensive. A lot of money has gone into this race. But ultimately, the people who are saying, "Oh, Fetterman's a populist, he cares about the people," I think that's kind of crap because most moderates, traditional moderates, aren't aren't gonna they're gonna get shut off by him. I think Connor Lamb would be the best nominee because he would be able to get the traditional liberal wing of the Democrat Party, but he's obviously not. He's way behind. So yeah, so I think that's gonna be till R. And also for the Georgia race, I wanted to show you something. This I think there was a poll that showed him up, um, showed him up, by like 10 points. Yeah, 10 points, which is kind of insane. Um, yeah, so I put it obviously as likely R. I could be extremely wrong on that, but yeah. So that is gonna be the Senate map. My prediction as of May 1st, 2022, for the November 8th midterm elections. And yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys next time. See ya.